Hi, everybody. Welcome to Voices from the Swamp with Silvia, my buddy here from Colorful Foresight, that I completely and totally vegged out on. It was on my channel this go around and not hers. It took in an email from her saying, "You're going to send the link?" I'm like, oh, shit.
I've done it where I know I'm hosting and they're like, "Oh, you sending the link?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay."
It's written
So
in my book. It's written in my book. My channel is. I just completely spaced out. Hi, Helena. Hi, Joyful.
I'm
And
loving the cartoon you have of us. That's you over there.
yeah, I do that through newprofilepic.com. You can go in and upload a picture and it'll give you like several different options of either like changing your the way you look certain ways, like you can look younger or older, long hair, short hair, blonde, brunette. You can change all kinds of stuff. Or you can get just like they take a photograph and turn it into what looks like a drawing or a painting.
Yeah.
Um, and I just get a kick out of doing it. So, I know I did one of Marina, and she was like, "Oh my god, I look like a movie star."
I know, make us look all like, suave.
And yeah, it makes you look good. And then I can take the picture like on my own, and I can pull it up on edit, and I can make my eyes look a little bluer. My lips a little redder.
Coming out nice. I like your
and
thumbnail. I mean, over on this screen over here.
thanks. Yeah, it was a new background they had up for fall, and I I spotted it the other day when I was making a thumbnail for a show coming up next week, week after next. I don't know, something like that. And I thought, oh well, that's a cool one to use until it's October, and then of course everything will go to the Halloween, and then I'll go back to the fall for Thanksgiving, and I try to have seasonal thumbnails.
I
So
think it's really cute. It's really cute. I'm feeling the vibe.
cool, cool, cool. I just wish I was feeling the coolness. It's still hot as hell here.
It's okay, because once it cools off, it'll definitely cool off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll go from day to day, and then it'll be like 2 days will go by. We'll be out there sweating our butts off, and then 2 days later we'll be sitting out there saying, "Damn, I need to go get a sweater. It's getting cold out here."
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Like, we talk so much about politics, but then once that plays over and Kamala wins, then we have to focus on the weather change. So, now we need a
Well,
different
we
type
got
of
we just
environment
dodged a really
change.
big bullet with Hurricane Francine. She was originally headed straight for us, and then at the last minute, kind of wobbled east
Oh, cool.
and went like east of Baton Rouge, closer to New Orleans. Homa and Morgan City just got slammed, man, big time. There's still people with no power down there, so it was really bad, and that could have been us, because it was
Yeah.
aiming right at us. But we got 2 more systems, 3 more systems, something like that out there, brewing in the Atlantic, some going into the Gulf. It looks like, and some may go up the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, you
I
know
don't know.
what?
We'll see what happens.
Like
Hi,
New York.
Joyful again. Yeah, I just saw you on Deborah's channel, and James Med. That's a new name. Welcome. And Anna and Kathy. And look, somebody let this colorful foresight in the room. Who was that? Somebody let Voices from the Swamp in too. It's like, oh my God, now we're done for.
You know what reminded me
Yeah, I
of?
did.
Guys,
I
remember in the
just did
80s?
a.
Wait. Remember in the 80s they had that what I forget her name, but she had a mirror and she used to see the kid and she used to say all the names. Oh, this is Bob. I see you, Bob and Bill. It's always like American
Oh,
name.
that
The
was
name were never said.
not Romper Room, but
You guys know.
uh, it was similar to the Mickey Mouse Club, but it wasn't Mickey Mouse. It came after, and it wasn't.
Might be in the
It
70s.
wasn't Sesame Street.
Right.
It
Of
might
course.
have been Romper Room. I don't remember. Y'all remember when that came? That was.
maybe that is Romper Room.
She had the magic mirror, and she'd like, we were just talking about that the other night. Me and Helen and somebody else. And she was like, yeah, it was, they never called my name. I said, they sure
Exactly. Never
so.
Sylvia. No.
And but
You know,
I heard somebody talking about it the other night. I just don't remember the name of the show.
Maybe it's Romper Room. Any of you know? You know. Let's see. I'm gonna Google it. Romper Room. You know, remind me Romper Room. I felt like that.
Kathy says it's
Romper
Romper Room.
It is.
Okay.
Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen, just so you guys can see.
Yeah. James, we're good on my end of Louisiana. I am west of Baton Rouge. I'm on the other side of the swamp, on the other side of the Atchafalaya.
You see it?
Yeah. What is that?
Romper Room with the mirror.
Okay.
I don't know if you see on I brought it up. I don't know if you guys saw it. You saw it?
In the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. That would have been more my brother's age. Abita Springs. Yeah, there's still a lot of people down here that don't have power. East of Baton Rouge, heading into New Orleans, there's still like over 100,000 people with no power. And it's been hot and muggy as hell the last 2 days since that hurricane came through. But they got hit pretty hard. So yeah, y'all keep them in your prayers. If you can make donations to the Red Cross, Salvation Army, whatever it is they got up, that would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure. The governor did declare a state of emergency early on, and the President Biden immediately okayed it. You know, he didn't have to. Our very MAGA governor did not have to kiss any behind to get it passed, like was done with the former president. Where if
I'm gonna miss Biden.
If you wanted something like that done, you had to do a lot of kiss up to him to get him to okay it.
You know, and, Biden been the get it done president. You know, even though we're already moving on to Kamala, she had the best boss. I mean, she was very.
Oh yeah.
She would, obviously she had a great career before him, but because of him, the last 3.5 years to prepare her, because this guy had 8 years being a VP, 50 years, so he introduced her to a lot of different world leaders. So that's why when they were like, "Who is this person?" I'm like, she's been under one of the best presidents for 4 years, especially with her gift, and he knows everybody, so it's gonna just go right.
Joe Biden was the perfect person to come in for cleanup after 45.
Yeah.
Hi, Janet. Without a doubt. I mean, the fact that he'd been in the Senate for over 30 years, he was a vice president for 8 years. He knows every freaking body who's anybody, especially when it comes to foreign leaders and stuff.
Right.
He knows them all because he's dealt with them all, because he pretty much ran the foreign affairs committee through the Senate, and so he had a lot of bells to be able to ring in that department.
Yeah, but can you imagine that meaning like your boss? Like she learned a lot from him, even with all her skills.
And they were already close. They were already friends, because she and his son Beau, the one who died from the brain cancer,
right?
They became good friends when they were both attorney generals of their respective states. And so there were a lot of conferences and stuff that they would attend together, and they just hit it off and got to be good friends. So she was already friends with Joe Biden. And so
yeah, she was like in the Senate and all that too. Right?
Yeah, so she was a senator by that time. By his second, she and Beau were both attorney generals. I think the session before Obama, got into office, or else when Obama got into office. I don't remember which, but they were both attorney generals for several years together. And then she ran for the Senate and became a senator. Um, and she ran for senator when 45 won. That's when she got elected in the same election. She got elected to the Senate. And so, and
going back to the
because she was one of the ones that was leading up the charge against the Supreme Court justice picks, and they had a lot of it helped her make a lot of contacts, and of course being in the Senate gave her very different skills than just being an attorney general or being a prosecuting attorney. The state prosecutors, because she was a state prosecutor elected to that position before she became attorney general there in California. So she had built up one hell of a reputation for herself in California. And then she moved into the Senate, and people started taking notice of her when they were doing the Senate when they were doing the Senate confirmation hearings for Supreme Court justice picks. She was the one that had up doing I Like Beer, Justice I Like Beer, and Justice Gorsuch, the machine man who thinks that machines should be protected over humans, and of course Justice Stepford Wife. So she was the one that stood up with those, was on this committee when they called Bill Barr in for his part in some of the shenanigans going on. She was the main person who was asking the questions of Bill Barr, and she was skewering him to the wall big time.
Yeah, she definitely. I mean, why would Biden want any other person?
Exactly. The fact that he already knew her. She was already a friend of the family, she and her husband, through his son. And he was vice president while she was attorney general. And then when he and Obama finished their second term, he went into full retirement mode. He did not have any plans whatsoever to go back into political life. He was done, And then, of course, 45 won. And I think he said it was about 2 years into 45's first session when his granddaughter started in on him about, Poppy, you got to run. You got to run. You're the only one that can fix this mess. You gotta do it. And they're the ones that talked him into running for president. And because I was supporting Kamala in 2020. She was my first pick. I was already sending her money and stuff when she stepped down and became his VP pick. And I was like, well, okay, I can take her as VP as long as she makes it to the president's position. And but a lot of us thought that would be an 8-year wait, not just a 4-year wait. So, and but yeah, there was definitely that time, that space-time continuum leap. We jumped timelines big time.
Well, speaking of timeline,
I'm leading up to that. I mean, we all felt it. Most of us for the first 24 hours were like kind of knocked for a loop because it was just overwhelming what happened. He stepped down and then was putting her name out there. We were all like, what the hell is going on? And it took about 24 hours for myself included, along with a bunch of other readers, to kind of get our feet and go, whoa, wait a minute. We just had a timeline shift. Big time. We just jumped timelines and now we're in a different one. We could feel it. We could feel the change in the energy of it. Something that I didn't realize that Silvia still had a copy of was a video that she and I did. When was it? Back in 2023,
Yeah.
where I was channeling.
Yeah, you were channeling Jesus, and he talked about one point about timeline shift. So, I tell you the truth, you could say, "Oh, that was for 2023," but that came in my head before I came on. So I'm gonna show it to you now. I don't know if the screen.
Sylvia's got it. You
It's
should
only
be
like.
able to share it like the
Okay.
others, and then I can play.
And if you guys have any question after about that, just let us
Hi,
know.
Fatima. Hi, Jeff. Hi, T-Lynn. Hi, Scorpio Mama. Hi, Kiba.
Okay.
Hi, Cecilia. Hi, Hippie Hiker.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So this is
I see us on the screen.
When did when did we do this?
Wait. Here we go. Okay. You're going to have to scroll your page.
So we did this in December 2022 for 2023. But the piece he talked about, remember, like sometimes timing, but here channeling message from Jesus. It's about the timeline shift. There we go. So he had faith. He said, have faith. Question 3. It might be a little low, so I'm going to put the closed caption on so you can read it.
Okay.
2023.
And you might turn it up on your end.
From Jesus of Nazareth for 2023. Jesus of Nazareth. Okay.
Well, I've been told that I'm allowed to channel him.
You allowed?
I had a reading from someone who channels Master Jesus as one of the people that he channels. And in the middle of the reading, he stopped and he said, "They're telling me you don't need me. You can channel them yourself." I've not done that yet. So there's a first time for everything.
Well, I think you told me before, you've been told you have that ability.
Yeah, it just hasn't really. My hair looks so much better back then. Come out. Yeah, it's like I get little snippets here and there. Like a minute ago with George Washington, I was shuffling the cards when it just suddenly I heard him telling me. That's never really happened before, so it was kind of like.
Yeah. I believe it. I mean, sometimes people don't need the cards. The card is just a tool. So what do you hear from Jesus? Let's explore. For 2023, what message he had? Sorry, it's low, but I have the closed caption up.
I think the biggest thing that he wants us to realize and to take to heart is to love one another. That's what he was all about, was love. I mean, he was the first hippie. He was the first equal rights proponent. He treated the other as just as important as himself, which back then was unheard of. I feel like, well, he's been very disappointed in how things have been going. He feels here comes that word again, encouraged. I don't know if that's George bopping his way back in or what, but he feels encouraged that the majority of the country is shifting. We're shifting. We're going back in the direction that we're supposed to be going in. We're like resetting our timeline, getting back on our timeline of where we're supposed to go. We're like resetting the Avengers when they went back to go get the stones. They did the time travel thing, and the Hulk was talking to the master, the lady, and it was taking the time stone out, and she was like, if you do this, then if it opens another timeline, which, and he was like, but if we do it and return it back at the same moment, then that timeline never exists.
Very interesting.
is how they explained it in the movie, which was, granted, that was a movie. But when you ask that, that's the picture I saw in my head, was the Hulk saying, well, but if we do this and we do it right and we turn it back where it goes, we shift ourselves back into the right direction, that bad timeline disappears and we're back on track again.
No, I like hearing that. I can see, like, if you're going to have spirit talking to us, they would be encouraged, you know, all across the board. That, that to me, it's good.
The Avengers, when they went back to go get the stones, they did the time travel thing, and the Hulk was talking to the master, the lady,
It's
and it
funny
was
how it
taking the
repeats.
time stone out, and she was like, if you do this, then if it opens another timeline. The Sorcerer Supreme was the character's like, if we name. Do it, return.
Well, I'm not going to show the
my
whole
hair
thing.
Was so good back then. Damn. I got to get my hair back to that cut again. It's like, looks like a rat's nest now. I've got it like clipped in a little claw clip in the back.
Yeah, but sometimes you have your hair down, you have the little clip on the side. I think that's so cute.
Sometimes, yeah, it'll do tendrils, it'll come loose, but it's I pretty much stuck it all back and got it out of my face. I was sick of it. Hi, T-Lyn. Hi, Butterflies. Hi, Louise.
So, you know, I feel like in the thing you said, get rid of the bad timeline. I have been feeling more joy. I feel like we're back to where we were like before 2012 and all that. So something's going on. Again, I know, like even Searle and everybody has different theory. You can have different great psychics, but they all say a little different. It doesn't matter. But he said that they were accelerated because if we have waited for Kamala later, then we would have had a like nuclear situation 2028. Then my group that I belong to, where we pray, it would have been some Earth thing. So the timeline was shifted, but it seemed like they had to do it in a way that the dark couldn't like manipulate. And they probably didn't want to show what's going to happen, where it can be hand over now than later, because it's kind of a protection thing. Because, you know, there are eyes looking at the political psychics that are talking about these things. Plus, the universe saying, you think you're pretty smart, you're pretty clever to the so-called dark, but we're like 50,000 steps ahead of you. So going back to Sherry, what do you think about that timeline shift that happened with Kamala?
No, I mean, at the time, it was just, that's what was coming to me, and I was not understanding what I was saying. I was like, I don't know what this is supposed to mean. I couldn't like get a grasp on why they were telling me that. You know, why was Master Jesus saying that to me? I didn't understand. Now, with everything that's happened from that date to today, it's like, oh, okay, they were giving me a heads up. This is going to happen. And it's so funny because, I mean, everybody knows I'm a big Avengers fan. I watch the Avengers movies all the time. But I hadn't watched any of the movies in a long while. And just, I guess, maybe the weekend before everything happened and Joe stepped down, across my feed, it came across again, audience reactions to the last movie, Endgame. You can watch where people filmed in the theater, how the audience was reacting to the stuff on the screen the first time they saw the movie. And which is cool to me because I was there opening night for the last Avengers movie, Endgame. And I was one of those people that were hollering and screaming at the screen like everybody else in the room was, you know.
Were you like, woo-hoo? Or were you like, yeah? Well, how were you?
Sometimes some things happened. I was screaming no at the screen and crying like a baby. But it made the several scenes in the movie kind of like brought them, I guess it refreshed my memory of it so that when I started channeling, they were able to pluck that image out of my brain and go, she'll understand this. Here, boom, this is what we're talking about. And so I was like, oh, okay. I understood what they were showing me in reference because of the movie. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I'm not really understanding why you're showing that to me because,
I mean, you know
it
what I was
just,
thinking at that time?
things
Yeah.
were so out of whack, that.
No, but at that time I was thinking, yeah, we need a timeline shift, but I had no idea what exactly. And also, you and I are practicing mediumship. So at that time, you were really practicing. So a lot of you on that follow Sherry or I are intuitive yourself. You know how it is, like we're constantly learning. And that timeline shift, it really, like, I feel the energy of how, like I told you, the energy of how things were 10 years ago. And
Yeah.
what's surprising that the theme is joy, and in my community, in my group, we are praying for joy for humanity. So this is grace. I call it the grace period. Like, why it happened, yada yada yada. Who cares? The point is, we
Have a good night, babe.
part of the universe. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's other things I want to bring up that, you know, I mentioned about, I was on Third Eye Champagne channel, Kirsten Lanson, and we did on the title called U.S. Politics from last week. And she asked me, what do you think about the two VP? I want you guys to let me know, and I'm kind of curious what Cherry thinks. I think J.D. Vance would put there to replace the former guy. I mean, he got the fake assassination, which I know some people say it's real or whatever, but maybe he didn't know about it. But especially with J.D. Vance, it's like kind of connected to the Project 2025, and feel like,
He's more than kind of connected. He wrote the forward to it.
yeah, but think about it. How great. I mean, we don't want nobody dying, but if the former guy had died, he would have been a martyr. So that's like another universe, like, no, we're not going to make that happen. And then have J.D. Vance come in. I don't think they realized how bad he was going to be. So don't you guys feel like he was there to maybe replace the former guy?
Well,
Eventually?
and with the assassination attempt, you know, Trump was making like a really big deal out of it. Took a bullet to the head. No, you didn't take a bullet to the head. You got hit by shrapnel. Okay, dude, chill out. A little bit of blood, you were fine. No reason to stick a damn Kotex on your ear for the next week. I mean,
It's like the Twilight Zone. I feel like I'm watching a reality show. I'm like, what the hey?
Twilight Zone fits really well. But it was just the it was
See, Cecilia thinks
I
that.
feel, and Cecilia, I agree with you completely here. From the moment they picked Vance, and I found out that he was the one that wrote that hillbilly elegy thing, which was, if you ask anybody from that area, they consider it to be an insult to their culture and their people. It's not something they're very proud of. I felt from the beginning pretty much the same as what Cecilia was saying there, that he was kind of like a placeholder so that they could dump Trump and put him in.
That's what I'm saying. I said that on Third
I
Eye.
wasn't thinking they were going to do it before the election, but that the plan was, okay, once we get him in office, we're gonna amendment 25 them and get him the hell out, and JD's gonna step in,
Right.
and then we'll put his handler in to be VP that will keep him under control. And that's what I was thinking. Now, I wasn't picking up any cards on that. That was just my personal opinion on it.
I'm going to say a lot of us feel that. Sometimes, we make up,
Yeah.
we have an active imagination, but I feel like something with that I can't prove it, but
I do now. I mean, now I feel more
now,
like, yeah, that was actually a very feasible plan. I think it became unfeasible when they realized just how toxic JD Vance is to
well,
the
he's not.
campaign.
Yeah, he clueless. You know what I mean?
It's and he has no charisma, no nothing. I mean, there was the video what a couple of weeks ago where it was a video of him going to a donut shop in whatever town they were in and walking in to order donuts, and the guy's like filling his order, and he was like, "Well, don't you know who I am?" And the kid was like, "No." He said, I'm running for vice president." And the kid waiting on him was like, "Oh, okay." Like, no big deal. Like, he heard every other person that came in the store say something like that, just completely didn't even.
I thought back to that
And
timeline.
within a day or two of that happening, there was a video that showed Tim Walz stepping into, I don't think it was a donut shop. I think it might have been a donut shop. I don't remember. But stepping into a little place, it was like the minute he walked through the doors, everybody knew who he was. And people got excited. Oh my God, look who's here, and he was just playing the room like a virtuoso. I mean, just he had them eating out of the palm of his hands within seconds, with his jokes and cracking up and talking about stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's your choice. Somebody that's going to make you feel really good about eating a donut that you probably shouldn't be eating, or somebody that just gives you the heebie jeebies when they're in the same room with you because you just feel that icky energy. He has very icky energy, is the best way I can describe it. It feels
Um,
like
that,
spider
you
webs
talking about
clinging to
JD
you.
Vance now?
JD Vance
Yeah, because they're part of that
energy is
darkness.
very, it feels like spider webs clinging to you.
Yeah,
To
I
me,
mean anybody in that
it's
circle,
it's like get off,
it's like
it and I get nothing off of Trump.
even the dog agrees. The dog like, yes, yes, your fur baby had more stuff
I'm
than
living with the people in and out, dogs barking. Oh well, I'll just deal. Hey, that's enough. Later.
no, he's
Um,
saying, JD, I don't like his vibe.
yeah, it's my brother was out and he just pulled back in, and his dog starts barking the minute he hears the car in full volume, which sets the little one off who starts barking. And he has a broken button. He starts barking and he doesn't stop. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
He just keeps going and going and going. I have literally clocked him at almost 5 minutes of nonstop barking. It was like four and a half minutes, something like
I mean,
that,
what are you
before I
gonna
got
do?
him to
Muzzle
shut
him?
up.
I mean, that's not, without coming off abusive.
He's part dachshund. He can't help himself. It's genetic. Um,
So, going
yeah,
back to
Anna,
that.
you're right. Vance has no personality. Hi, Marby.
So I
Um,
was feeling that. I shared that with Kirsten, and she's like, "Oh my God, I was feeling that." So we all were feeling that, and now it's becoming more
yeah.
evident. I mean, can we prove it? No, but if we're gonna go with our intuition, we might as well. This is all for your entertainment purposes only. But
When
thankfully,
they were doing the confirmation hearing for Justice Stepford wife, whatever her name is, I forget.
Usher, Usher,
Um, I can't.
Lady
All I can
Vance's
ever
wife.
remember is the justice, the
Oh,
female
right, right.
justice, the last
Oh, Amy Cohen,
Amy Coney,
Cohen.
Amy Coney Barrett or something like that.
Yeah.
I call her Justice Stepford wife. Um, I was watching another very well known reader back then when they were doing the confirmation hearings. And she attempted to do live one night. She was on live and she attempted to do a remote view to go in and see if she could remote view this
Oh
woman
God,
to pick up
I
some
remember
energy
this.
on her.
Yeah.
And she literally got shoved out, like physically fell back in her chair like something had just pushed her out. And it freaked her out. She was like, I've never had that happen before. Literally, she said it
I know
was
who you're
very
talking about.
dark energy, and she just pushed me out. It was like whatever's around her for protection is very dark and very strong. And I remember watching it thinking, wow, I had no clue
Right,
that
because she looks
we could
so
we could pick something out. And she got like white as a sheet when it
no,
happened,
like she looks
yeah.
so innocent, you know. Um, that's why we're going back to the
What's
timeline shift.
got me curious is because the last couple of really big decisions that the Supreme Court has made, she has sided with the Democrats, with the liberal justices.
You think she's doing that to stay face,
I
or you
think
think?
she's trying to get to be buddy buddy with the other female justices who are
Mm,
all liberal justices. You got Kagan, you've got Sotomayor, and you've got Brown Jackson. I forget which way to say it. Um, and so those are the three liberal justices that we have on the court now. The rest are all conservative justices. And I think Amy is treated by her male counterparts as nothing more than the coffee girl. Go get me coffee, girl, you know. Um, and I think she feels that because they have such disdain for women. They don't like women, they don't respect women. Hi, Amy. Um, very, very negative towards women. And I think she feels it. I know the other ones do, but of course they're also the liberal
So you saying you
justices.
think she has some consciousness?
I think that she does, and I think that she's trying to. This is just my opinion, YouTube, for entertainment purposes only. I think, regardless of where she comes down on an issue, left or right, I think she feels, and I'm talking about Justice Stepford Wife here, I think she feels pushed out by her own uh, conservative justices because she's a woman, therefore she's not good enough. Um,
And now she could
and
checkmate
I
them.
think she's trying to develop almost like a sisterhood type relationship with the three liberal justices who are all women. And two of them are women of color.
Let me tell you,
You
they
know,
know what she's about, though.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
She's not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. Don't
right,
don't
exactly.
mistake that. But she, I don't know if it's just a self-preservation position or if being around them and seeing their strength and the fact that they do demand respect when they're talking and when they're giving their opinions, I think some of that might be rubbing off on her of like, wait a minute, I don't have to be anybody else's doormat, you know, at all.
I'm gonna share something.
Maybe there is hope for her yet to
I,
change completely.
just to
I
change the
don't
top.
know. I've not thrown cards on that, but
No, you know what?
I'm just saying I feel like she's seeing their strength and their attitude of my voice, my position deserves just as much respect as yours does. Talking to the men, and they demand it. And I think that for her, they don't show her the respect of being a fellow justice. They treat her like the coffee girl, you know. And I think she's seeing that difference. And that's what's, I'm thinking that's why some of these really important female issued votes that they've done, she swung her vote to the left. Not in everything and not in anything real major, but in some of the minor stuff that has come up, she's voted with the other females.
Well, think about it. if let's say, the goal is in a bigger picture to suppress women, no matter how much power she has, she would be stuck as well. So maybe that feeling of let's keep the women thing going, not to get stuck into it. But you know what's interesting? In my the organization I belong to, we pray for politicians because if you're a real light worker, you're not going to judge. But I totally judge, and they even made us pray for. We don't pray for them. We ask the light to go to them because you don't want to touch those energy. To pray for all politicians, they just see them as politicians. They don't see it bad or good. And there were times it was like J.D. Vance was on the picture, Trump were on. I couldn't do it, and they're like, you send them the light, everybody. So even the most dark can become enlightened, so to speak. And there are many stories in spirituality where you hear about murderers, or even Jesus. Not Jesus, but in the Bible, there are stories like you could kill like 100 people, but if you truly are remorseful, God will forgive you. And it really recreate the punishing God. God is not punishing. But my personality, the human personality, especially we're afraid of the far right guys. I can't see them as a human being who got stuck into the dark and blah blah blah. But doing those prayers, our intention was joy. And then here's the timeline shift that we're in. It's about joy. And then listening to Sherry with Jesus mentioning about love. So now we're back into that love vibe. And at this time frame, astrologically, which I know nothing about, but I know this, we're supposed to be heading into the Aquarian age and the Golden Age. It's supposed to be a good. So what I feel like happened is that the dark were trying to thwart that energy for humanity to go forward.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the universe are giving us grace. Remember, guys, there've been other societies that came and went, way advanced, more spiritual than us, that went under. So how do we have any chance at society? But there are do-overs, there are different time frame. So I feel like we got the grace. We got the grace from the universe. And the universe is telling the not so great people, maybe including Amy, that we're 50,000 steps ahead of you. You're not going to win. Because remember, if you look at history, there have been 100 years where it's all like dark, or a lot of killing. So it just comes and goes. But I feel like we receive a lot of grace. Thank God Jesus tried to hint us about love, and the theme right now is about joy. So we should be very grateful. And even though I don't like Amy, even though I don't trust Amy, and I'm like, yeah, who am I to judge that anybody could act for, to go and involve. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I like her, but who am I to? I mean, I don't. You know what I mean?
Rose, we're talking about Justice Stepford wife and a little bit, and just the timeline shift that we all went through. Silvia found a video that she and I did together a year ago, where while channeling Master Jesus, I said it. There was going to be a timeline shift, and I didn't remember saying that at all. So
yeah, and with the love timeline shift, he said, which is the timeline we're at now, but they use joy. So we got to be grateful for this, So any of you, what do you think? Come on, tell us. What are you feeling? Except for Rose, that you just came in.
Yeah, we got a bunch of folks in here. We got 62 people in the room. Damn. That's not bad considering I forgot to do a thingy and put it up and advertise. And I'm so bad sometimes. I just had a complete brain fart.
So she said she felt a full shift Thursday night. You mean the debate? Oh, that was my.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, that debate was eye-opening for a lot of people. I think most of us, we knew what was going to happen. I'm just
Yeah, but that was
Logic.
better than I
Nothing to
thought,
do with the woo, strictly logic. We knew what was going to happen because
right?
the man's an idiot and she's not. But um, uh, I think there are a lot of people riding the fence, can't quite make up their mind because they don't know her that well yet. They don't know Kamala that well. And I think that Tuesday night was a real eye opener for them. Do I go with the crazy old white man who hates everybody? Or do I go for this really super intelligent
Woman.
Indian African American woman who has got her shit together? It's just rocking it, you know. And then her VP pick. Oh my God, the woman could not have picked a better VP. Granted, I'd never heard of him. When they made the announcement, I was like, "Who the hell is Tim Walz?" I mean, I had to go look him up. But what somebody else in the community, and I can't remember now who it was, actually brought his name up on a show that a group of us were on in a panel, probably on polyterology. And they were like, he might go with this person. Everybody was like, who's that? Yeah. None of us knew. Hi, MJ.
You know what? Linda G said it was going to be an
Hi, Sheila.
unknown. She didn't know the name, but she said it's going to be somebody nobody knows.
Yes, she did. There were several readers that said that they saw somebody new coming in. But a lot of us thought that was going to happen after Biden got elected, that he was then going to pass the baton.
But I think that was the universe doing that on purpose to protect you guys as political readers. Remember, you got eyes, some dark people watching you guys. And also,
Yeah,
you know what? I said
we were all just way off on the timing. That's all. Everybody thought it
everything
would.
else you were on. But because if they have told me,
Hi, Castillo.
Biden's going to leave now, we could get in the way. I would have been like, no, I want Biden in, then Kamala after. And even after when it happened, I was pissed. But then I got to see the energy going. So let's just be grateful, So, yeah.
Cecilia, I hear you. I mean, we feel the same way. That's why we're constantly talking about it now and doing a lot of readings on it, is because we're all like, we're picking up snippets, bits and pieces this past year that this was coming. Some people actually spoke it aloud and said, I feel something's coming. We just didn't know what it was. And
some did know.
I don't think anybody was expecting the timeline shift to be as drastic as it was.
Or whatever you call it, not for nothing. On my phone, I'm stuck in a group text with very close loved one. I mean, the intelligent doctors, the accountants, whatever. And what they thought of the debate is that he got treated unfairly. So they're really blind. It's not the hillbilly. This is like very intelligent, hardworking Republican. But they did say he was very arrogant and on all that, but they feel like that the the moderator were inaccurate. And I remember replying like, they said, well, why didn't they fact check Kamala? I said, because there was nothing she wasn't doing any misinformation. And I ended up getting kicked out because I said, look, he's doing no debate. And they said, well, I wouldn't do debate either after I tweeted. I said, I don't know if you guys remember, in 2023 and early 2024, he was doing that for the Republican debate. He was not showing up. So what was the excuse then? I said that because you had DeSantis, Hallie, Haley, with her name Christie, and you got Kamala calling him out. He doesn't want that. So this is not a new thing, him not showing up on a debate. He's been doing this game since the Republican. Who the hell is he? We're the people that are hiring him. I think he seemed to forget, So,
Kathy, you're right. I think it was Kevin Loving Vibrations who mentioned it. I think I was on that live stream the day he said the name. So yeah, that's very possible.
No, I know he got the JD Vance, but I don't know about the wall. But I'm not going to question you, Kathy. The problem is, like, you don't remember who said what, you know?
Yeah, after a while, yeah, we're sometimes we all sound like we're spewing the same but busted line, but that's just because it's what we're being shown, what we're being given. Like there was a lot of people that were really pissed off at us
Oh,
because
I
we kept
know.
saying Biden was going to win. I mean, to the point that there were some people who wound up getting blocked from most of the readers because they were so ugly about it, online
You
in
know
the chat
why? You
room.
know why? It's very
And
fearful.
it's
Like,
like there's no call for that. And there were some readers who almost walked away and quit reading, was going to shut down their channel because of some of the ugly things that were said to them. They were deeply hurt by people saying such things. I mean,
listen, that to me was the
we have
protection
to
side. It was the
we have to be
protection.
honest, but we also have to measure our words and how we say them and take into consideration how somebody else may take those words, especially if it's against them.
Yeah, but I think it's the
Somebody can
protection
call me
side.
names all damn day long. It's not going to make any difference to me. I don't care. I've been
With the
called every
protection.
damn name in the book, so
Remember,
there's
the
nothing
universe
new
has
you
to
can
play
come
a
up with.
chess game. Remember, Russia is known to be not advanced in psychic work. You don't think the leader in Russia is using that? How you think we got so many, going back to my relative, intelligent people who are not seeing it? It's just not
Yeah,
psychological warfare, spiritual warfare as well.
it
But we
was
got
like in
that timeline shift.
2016. Yeah, in 2016, exactly, Jaconda, exactly. Um, in 2016 and again in 2020. I mean, as y'all know, I'm in the deep south. You couldn't ride down any street anywhere without seeing people's houses and yards plastered with Trump 2016 or Trump 2020. It was like, what is wrong with you people? You've obviously got money, which means obviously you have an education. Um, but yet you're spewing out this nonsense that makes no sense at all. Um, so I think a lot of us were really kind of taken aback by the personal insults that came flying our way. I mean, like I said, I didn't care. You can call me whatever you want. I've been called every name of the book, every variation of every name of the book. You're not going to say anything I haven't heard before that I've been called. Um, but there are some that are just, they didn't sign up for that. They didn't sign up for that kind of abuse. They signed up to help people.
I
And
think it's just that they freaked out. You can't rely, even the best psychic. We still have to pray. We still got to be active out there. And all of them psychic were saying it. I feel really that they weren't told. Some of them were told. I seen some talk about it, but it was like they had less views. But the more bigger channel, because they were being protected from seeing exactly what's going on. Remember, like I told you, I said it a few times already, you got people watching. And also, we could get in a way. I already said this. We could think, no, I want Joe to stay. It's not fair. He's doing so great. Why? You know what I mean? So sometimes we're not meant to know. But everybody got, but that's the thing. When people give too much power to political psychic or anybody, if you are a student of intuition, and which most of you are, at least 99% of you, we feel things, but we're just like a human being, and sometimes you get it right, and sometimes 80% or 85%, it's all about interpretation. That's all it is. And it's freaking scary. Like it freaked me out a little bit when that whole thing happened. But then when I saw all that great energy, we all was like, okay, we'll get over it. Good. Because my thing is, Joe is doing all this work. Why he's not getting any credit? You know what I mean?
because he doesn't run out in front of the microphones every time he does something.
No, but I'm just saying, like Kamala, it's like they needed Kamala before. I hope I'm saying her name is Kamala. Sorry, it's Kamala. Not
Kamala, yeah.
Kama. Yeah, I have to be careful. Kamala. It's like Kama. I guess people needed, the young people needed to see a young person and all that. But Biden did so much. We all know that. So what Kathy said, what'd she say? You did mention that elected politician work for us. True. Yeah. I mean, who is he not to do debate? I have never heard that. Like, how the hell? That makes no sense. He's been doing this game with the Republican
He did that in 2016.
Right.
He didn't show up for 90% of the debates that they had for all the ones running.
Who is he? Who is he? Hello? So what are we going to do about the joy vibe?
He thinks his poop don't smell. That's what he is. That's why he poops in his pants everywhere.
Yeah. But listen, guys, we're on joy vibe. So what is that going to look like, the joy vibe?
I'm already feeling the joy vibe, and it feels damn good after 8 years of being.
It'll be nice to have us
inundated
talk about
with
joy vibe stuff versus, hitting it's bringing out all the worst in me in the last few years. So it's a joy vibe. It's going to end a lot of things, just the judgment, literally put things to like done, dead, complete, finito. So all the
what was your
the
question?
way things been done. That's why probably a lot of people woke up to Kamala, even though Biden did so many great things, because they just wanted that new energy. So now we're going to have humanity to thrive. We're not going to go under like some society that came and went. But there's something about this, the Eight of Swords. Oh, we're being blindfolded, going from blindfolded to sun, seeing everything as is. The last few years, we've been shocked by a lot of different things, haven't we? Not just the Republican, but like a lot of us in the spiritual community, where our spiritual peers seem like they drank the Kool-Aid too.
Well, and we as Americans have a very short memory span of just how bad things were when Biden took office. When Biden and Harris got sworn in and they started rolling up their sleeves to work, from everything I've read from people in the know who were involved at that time, it was like it was a full-out shit show is what it was, with them trying to clean it up. The same thing happened to Obama. When Obama won the first time, and they knew there was a couple of things really bad, but it wasn't until that first day on the job, that he literally got hit with everything that was bad. And his then
8 years.
His then staff manager, whatever, I can't think of the guy's name. I've seen him in an interview where he talked about, we thought we were going to have, like maybe 1 or 2 fires to put out when we stepped into office. We weren't expecting to be hit with a dozen. He said, and that's what it was. We were hit from so many different sides of so many things that were just coming apart at the seams. And so everybody had to go into kind of rescue mode, restoration mode, trying to shore everything back up again and get people back on the right track. And because of that, there was a lot of things that Obama promised to do that he didn't get done those first 2 years because of all of the mess he had to clean up from the Bush years. And so people got pissy because he didn't wave his magic wand and make everything back to normal within 2 years.
And he also
and so they voted out the Democrats and they put all Republicans in the House and the Senate, which really hamstrung him then, because then he couldn't do diddly squat. Every issue was a fight. I think that if American people had been smart enough to realize what was happening and not buy into the BS, then Obama would have kept the House and the Senate the second 2 years of his first term, and he would have gotten a lot more accomplished. Because those first 2 years, he spent all of his political capital on getting the health care Obamacare up and running. And I watched people who supposedly had complete intelligence who would just rant and rave and go on and on about Obamacare and how bad it was. And then you'd show them stuff and say, well, that's for the Affordable Care Program. What do you think? And then, oh, yeah, this is it. This is exactly what we wanted. It's like, okay, that's Obamacare. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. He wants to do that. I'm like, no, that's the policy that he passed. That's what he ran on. That's Obamacare you're looking at.
Yeah, but you
It
know
just
what?
has a different name attached to it.
The Republican didn't take advantage of it to perfect it because there was a lot of problem with it. You made like more than a certain amount. Like I know a lot of people who went on it who made money. They're not rich, but if you make like over 20 plus, it had a lot of holes. But they didn't do anything about it. And on the debate, you heard Trump saying, "Oh, I thought I have a concept." He always said he had a plan. I have it. I have it. He had nothing. So. But what did the Rose Blues say? I never heard my mama swear to 2018. She's now 85. Call it dumpy a jack arse yesterday. Yeah, bringing out the lovely in us, that's for sure. Okay, so full blue inferno to out. But people still don't see. They don't see. They're like really. They don't know now, but I think that will come out later on.
Now, before we read on Kathy's question, I had pulled cards on the last one that you were talking
question?
about. And I had pulled the Lovers,
Ooh.
followed by the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Cups reversed. So we saw a lot of couples, a lot of families torn apart. I think that's what the two lovers are showing us here. There was a lot of disbelief that someone you supposedly loved and loved you could suddenly do and say the things they were doing and saying. They get shocked a lot of people. It caused a lot of divorces too. And then I pulled the Eight of Pentacles, which is just hard work. And that's something that Biden and Harris have never been afraid of. It's getting out there and doing hard work. I know for a while it was a constant refrain of, well, where's the vice president? We never see the vice president. What is she doing? Like she was around the world and back again, taking care of shit.
I have one
fires
person
that
told
needed to
me
be
that
put
she
out.
did not go to Europe. I'm like, are you sure? Go look on YouTube. Look up on YouTube. She's been to quite a few places in Europe.
Yeah, I've had to tell people that too. It's like, do you realize how much work she's been doing that most vice presidents never do?
Especially the
Most of
border.
them do sit around on their laurels and do nothing. And then, of course, the Four Cups. It was all the opportunity that was there that just kind of got wasted. And then when a new opportunity came in, people turned against it because they didn't understand it. And so and Kathy, we're talking about 45, right? Yeah, it's been determined that he's an addict. You don't sniff as much Adderall as he does and not have serious issues.
Yeah, but it's not proven. Like we at Intuitive know.
All we have is eyewitness accounts from people who have worked for him, who watched him. I know,
but for the average people, they're not.
But that's not provable in a court of law.
Right, it had to be like a blood work,
Or
I would
a
think
damn videotape showing them doing it. It just
Oh yeah, in a drawer next to him, right? So the joy vibe, I look so forward into the new timeline we're in. Oh, that's good to know about Kathy.
Well, there are two well-known psychologists, psychiatrists, whatever they are, that do a podcast. They've been doing it for several years now, called Shrinking Trump. And it's all about not someone shrinking in stature, but them shrinking his mind, figuring out where he's coming from. There are a lot of professionals in the mental health field that are now trying to step out and give the warning where they let protocol keep them silent before, that are now speaking out and saying we can't keep quiet anymore, because of the simple fact that he is such a danger to our society. He is a danger to our foreign operatives around the world who do spy work. He's dangerous to just ordinary mom and pop that lives on your street. He's just a very dangerous man because his idea was, Trump's idea is just, well, it's, of course it's my way. It's always my way. Nobody ever contradicts me. What are you talking about? You're an idiot, dude. That's what we're talking about. But yeah, it's
Well, I just look forward to when we're not talking about him anymore. And we're going to have to talk about positive things.
Here's something interesting. El Castillo said, crew, which I know what that is, and I forget what the acronym stands for.
Crew identified 35 road election officials across the country who have already refused to certify election results and may be in position to do so again.
And the point being is that if they're not willing to do their job and do it ethically and honestly, then they need to be replaced ASAP. If they're sending out a message like this saying, well, if we're just not even going to read those ballots, or we're just not going to tabulate those ballots because, they're following somebody else. That should be an automatic suspension and never allowed to work in any kind of government type series at all.
I think that's going to be brought up more toward the end of October about this election, because this should be talked about more. I see a celebrity talking about it still.
Well, and it's not just that, but it's also the fact that we have got to start indicting, charging and indicting those in Congress and in the Senate, even if they've retired or they've gone on to run as a mayor or a governor or something of a state. Those people who were behind that Stop the Steal, who signed on for it, who did paperwork for it, who was, still touting its beliefs that were out and out lies, they need to be taken into account. They need to be held accountable for what they did and for the lies they told. Because you don't get that smart in some of these positions that these people have held because you're an idiot and a jackass and you just paid money to get there.
You can use your smart for bad too.
You can, and a lot of them have. And now they want to try to pretend like, well, they just didn't know. It's like, no, I don't think so. I mean, there are governors.
I remember people.
There are governors, there are attorney generals, there are congressmen and senators who were 500% in on the Stop the Steal crap, signed off on paperwork to get it done, have gone to an extreme for this election to get unethical people in the position of being the ones who certify, who have already went out and stated, well, no, we're not certifying anything if it doesn't go our way. But that should be an automatic get fired.
Right.
You should automatically not only be fired, but never be allowed to hold a position like that again. Because you've proven in just a simple statement that you're not worthy, you're not trustworthy. you know. Um,
Yes, absolutely.
but until, and this is what I keep picking up, this is what my cards keep picking up, that until they start going after those people, the congressmen, the senators, the attorney generals, the governors, the mayors, whatever positions they held or still hold, until we start going after them and holding them accountable, it's not going to stop. They have got to go in and start holding these people accountable. Okay, so this person isn't an attorney general anymore. Say he's now a mayor or a governor or a congressman or a senator. Yeah, well, his ass needs to be hauled in and talked to and interviewed. When he gets charged and indicted, he needs to show proof of why he bought into a lie and continues to put that lie out like it's truth. Yes, Rose, they broke their oath of office. They did.
You know
When you
what,
work
guys?
in the government, when you work in the government, you take a pledge to protect and serve the Constitution of the United States of America. Not the president, not the vice president, not a governor, not a congressman, not Santa Claus or the tooth fairy. You pledge to honor, serve, and protect the Constitution. It's a living document. It's not meant to stay static and stagnant. It's meant to change as times change. That's why it was written in the way that it was written. Because the founding fathers had the uncanny sense of knowing that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, God willing, our country's still going. What we're writing as laws today is not going to fit that society then.
Well, they were
This
scared
needs a
of
way
those
to
type of things.
grow and change as times change. And
It's something bigger than them that the universe was coming through them when they were doing that
yeah,
constitution stuff.
exactly. What is that,
So,
Rose?
how should we wrap this up? That we're gonna have joy from here on forward.
I'm sorry, say that again.
How are we gonna wrap this up? That we're gonna have joy from here on forward. Speaking on
Yeah,
like, yeah, joy.
yeah. Let's go with joy. Oh wow, we're already over an hour. I didn't realize we'd been on that long.
Oh, first card that popped up. That's a joy card. Like all is
There you
well. The
go.
star card is like all is well. I mean, life will go on, but let's just stick with the joy in a moment. Um, more this it's we the people here. That's what I'm getting with the three of coin, overriding this loud mouth with the joy vibe. Because if you notice, soon Kamala came in, even though most of the media are owned by Trump people, they all focused on Kamala. It's weird because you would think they want to focus on the other guy. If the universe coming in, the timeline is not allowing them. It's not. It's just. I feel like we're in a different. And look, it ends with the Four of Wands. So all is well, but I call it the grace. Like I said before, the grace period. We just have to be grateful and keep going forward. So, what do you have to say, Sherry?
First card I pulled was the lovers again. So how do you get love and joy? With love and joy.
And that Jesus said love.
Yeah. And then I pulled the hangman.
Oh,
So there's a
like
lot of people that are still kind of just hanging out, waiting to see what's going to happen. What's next? What's going to go on? What can you expect? But the last card I pulled was the devil. And so I'm like, okay, wait a damn minute.
I know, right?
It's supposed to be a joy reading. Why are you showing me this? And that's because there's still too many little devils running around out there. That's going to make it very hard for us to truly achieve joy in what we do because of their inability to see what's coming.
So what can we do? Like, what other card can you put clarity over that? Like, what can we do to?
Let's see what else I can pull. Let's see. Strength.
Mm.
This is going to make us stronger. Six of Cups. Familiarity. So kind of feeling like we're going to get back on track with all of this.
That's what I feel like, we're going back on track, you know, before all this.
And I ended with a star.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So we're still going to see more ickiness, but, you know, that's a. I mean, let me tell you, my relatives are in shock and then denial. I'm telling you. And you know what? Think about it, guys. Just really honestly think about it. Let's say you've been like on this side and it's going to like trigger you because you're like, oh my God, can I trust myself? How did I get it wrong? And all that. So it's going to take a lot of unraveling. So if it, you know, it, like Rose said, I got the joy, joy, joy down in my heart today.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
and that's it. We have to just keep reminding each other to be joyful. We have jumped into a much better timeline. We have some really, really good things that are coming our way if we allow it. It's going to all be up to us, all of us. If we don't get out and vote and push for joy to enter our lives again, it's not. And it's going to be a hellscape. And I don't mean to say that to scare anybody. I'm just telling you, if we don't push for the joy, push for ethical behaviors to be pertinent in our leadership, push for accountability for our elected leaders, then we're going to get, you know, what we get is basically what we're asking for then. If you don't put the effort in, then you're not going to get anything back but what they want.
Yeah.
You know, what the evil wants, what the bad wants, what the whatever name you want to give it. But that's one of the things I think that has done more good to this country in the past, month and a half, is the joy of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. They just exude it. It just pours forth from them. You can't help but feel joyful.
But you notice it's like it has a mind of its own. It's not even about it's about everybody, but it's not even about us, not even about Kamala. It's just like it's all of us just watching it like, whoa, it went from this to and watching the stadium full.
When you see joyful people
oh my
who
God,
want to truly serve everyone,
and
who find joy in serving others.
That's true.
That brings you joy. And as it brings you joy, you're putting more joy out.
Oh, I got chills.
And it feeds on itself. So
that's it. That's
a joyful warrior. Yes, Rose. Exactly.
It's happy. Just happy. But you know what? It's like after you cannot laugh hearing a baby laugh.
Exactly. You know, I mean, go take a walk outside, go sniff some flowers, look at the sunshine, take a nap, whatever makes you feel good, do it. Me, I'm getting ready to go fix something to eat after Silvia and I get done, because we got something else to do
Like
after
now.
this.
We're done now.
So y'all have a great rest of your weekend. I will see you tonight at 11 p.m. Central when the slumber party starts. And once Sylvia and I finish up our next chore, I'm going to go fix something to eat, take a nap.
Yeah, I know. She's such a busybody. She had to learn how to balance herself out, her schedule. Even her husband and mother were practicing mediumship. It was like not that great. Like, we were practicing it, and you got to start. And the first thing they came and said, not a bad way, but like, and she already knew. It was like, you got to balance yourself out. I don't even remember the message, but that's basically what it is. And she's like, I know, and I see it. So, all right, all of us, let's continue with this joy vibe. And what does even that look like? Because we've been like talking about this for years.
Yeah.
So put on your intuition.
It's going to work out. It's going to be good. We got good things coming.
Yeah,
Y'all
what I'm
just
getting
keep
is
the
we don't have
faith.
to try. It's happening anyway. It's part of the universe giving
Yeah.
us that gift, the timeline.
Believe it.
Take
Feel
care.
it. See it. Speak it.
Ha ha.
Bye for now.